Hello and welcome to the opening round of the 2015 blh Invitational presented by blh Designs, the series that tests the riders of MX Simulator on Supercross, Motocross, and hybrid tracks. Brandon Houldsworth in the booth for today's race, and let's get into the news going into round 1. A few storylines heading into tonight's round include new and old faces and the rivalry. A lot of new riders have decided to race this year's Invitational, including Race Factory Gaming pros Quinton Deese and Jordan Foster, as well as other newcomers like Taylor Wasden from Premium Motorsports. Following his first career RF 250 Pro Supercross win, Deese is expected to challenge for race wins as well as the 2015 blh Invitational Championship. Along with him, Foster is also expected to be near the front while Wasden is coming in as a wild card. Returning riders Tanner Rogers, Erd Kozerk, and defending champion Brandon Houldsworth are back to contend for the second annual Invitational. Coming off of his first RF 250 Pro Supercross win, Rogers is someone expected to challenge for the title this year. Kozerk and Houldsworth are race winners from the 2014 blh Invitational and may be seen near the front during each race. The rivalry between best friends Brandon Houldsworth and Erd Kozerk started back in 2014 and continues to be fueled by 2015 and 2016 race results. These two are expected to battle one another continuously throughout this year's championship. Before we get into the race, let's talk about the format of today's race with the Moto update. The riders will all line up for two 15-minute plus 2-lap races, which awards riders who finish the race with championship points. The first gate drop of this year's championship was mere moments away as the nerves built up for race 1 of the night. Leading the rest of the field through the first corner was Jordan Foster of Verb Moto, who threw the lead away a few corners later. Quinton Deese would inherit the lead while there was a 3-rider battle between Alex Stewart, Taylor Wasden, and Erd Kozerk. Deese would take the green flag while the number 1 of Brandon Houldsworth was buried in nearly last one, finishing the first lap. Early frontrunners Stewart and Wasden would find themselves at the tail end of the field around the halfway point of race 1. No issues for Deese, as he would cruise to eventually take position 1, while Rogers and Houldsworth would find themselves battling throughout the rest of race 1. Foster, after taking the whole shot, would work himself back up to second place rider Erd Kozerk as they battled until a mistake would cause Kozerk to concede second place to the 518 machine of the Moto rider. Rogers and Houldsworth would collect each other several times until lap 9, as Rogers would struggle to stay on the bike, giving the defending champion 4th place. Kozerk, with a quiet ride, would see himself finish on the final podium spot just ahead of his rival. Here are the results of race number 1 with Deese, Foster, and Kozerk, who respectively finished 1, 2, 3. Andrew Kawyn would not start the race, while Owen Payne would have constant problems finishing the race on lap 5. Race 2 was underway as Quinton Deese would take the early lead with Tanner Rogers, Erd Kozerk, and Taylor Wasden right behind him. At the end of lap 1, Brandon Houldsworth would find himself in 5th place after a first turn pileup involving several riders. A few sections later, Brandon Houldsworth would find a way by Wasden, while Kozerk would be promoted to the lead after mistakes from Deese and Rogers left them on the ground. Kozerk's lead would briefly disappear as Rogers found his way by him in the latter part of the track, though a mistake a corner later would allow Kozerk back through. A mistake by Kozerk going into the uphill part of the track let race 1 winner Deese in the lead, while another mistake by Rogers would let the number 1 of Houldsworth, as well as Jordan Foster, by him. Disaster struck as both Kozerk and Foster would go down in the same section, letting Houldsworth and Rogers into 2nd and 3rd respectively. Around the halfway point, Kozerk and Houldsworth would find each other on track and commence one of the best battles of race 2. couple big mistakes from the defending champion let Kozak get away and cruise to another podium finish. Race 2 results looking very similar to the first race of the night, with another impressive race by Quinton Deese and another come-from-behind race by Jordan Foster. Round 1 overall results look very similar to the points standings as Quinton Deese takes the red plate heading into Round 2 of the 2015 blh Invitational.